Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hold on, I gotta grab my eggs. Got a beautiful plate of fried eggs today. Experimenting with different seasonings. I'll let you know how it goes. Nathaniel has carved our pumpkin. He's got a little angry face. I don't think this pumpkin has much time left. He's starting to get a little squishy. But for now, at least he has a face. I'm back in Bloomington. It's been a crazy couple days. I've got a bunch of stories to tell from the past couple days that I didn't get to mention on the past couple Breakfast with Bevs have been pretty short. Just fitting them in where I can. But a lot has happened. I want to talk about the new apartment. I want to talk about some stuff from Cleveland. I want to talk about our adventures from last night. So maybe this one will be longer. We'll see. So 2 days ago, I was in Cleveland, wrapping up work stuff and getting ready to go back home. I talked about it a little bit in one of the episodes, that West's car had broken down and that he had to take Jesse's car back. And so that, I'm all mixed up on what my days even are. Wednesday, Thursday? Yeah, I suppose it would have been Thursday. I was like, I'm going to try to fix what's wrong with his car, because he claimed, so the code was a cylinder 3 misfire. And I was like, okay, probably spark plugs or wires would be the most common thing. And he was like, oh yeah, I haven't replaced my spark plugs since 80,000 miles. It's a 2013 Ford Fiesta. It's at 290. So he hasn't replaced his spark plugs in over 200,000 miles, which they're supposed to last for like 50 to like maybe 80 tops. So that's insane. So I was like, yeah, even if that's not the cause of your misfire, you need new spark plugs like that. So I went out and bought 4 new spark plugs. And I pulled the old ones out. I never actually told him that I've never changed spark plugs before. I know how to do it, but I've never done it before. Because I got mine changed right after I bought my car, when I wasn't as confident with working on my own vehicle. And so I just don't need them right now, so I never have actually changed them. So I didn't tell him that, but nothing went wrong. It was fine. But it's a pretty easy procedure. I had the tools with me and I knew what to do. So I put the 4 new ones in, fired it up, which that was a whole different thing because it's a manual. I didn't know it was a manual, and I didn't know how to start a manual, which you'd think that would be simple, but you have to put it in neutral, put the clutch all the way down before you start it. And I didn't know that at first. But anyway, I started up, ran a lot smoother. And after starting it 2 or 3 times, the check engine light went away. So for now, I'm assuming that was the cause of it, but I couldn't take it for a test drive because I don't want to screw up somebody else's manual just stalling at intersections and stuff. So we won't know for sure if it's highway worthy again until West comes back and lets me know. And then I drove to Dayton, Ohio, to do what you saw on yesterday's Breakfast with Bev, where I intercepted my family at their hotel. And so that was a fun little surprise to do. And then I went to the college visit to see the campus with them the next morning, and then left to come here to Bloomington. As soon as I got back, I was totally exhausted. I was having trouble, for some reason driving makes me sleepy, which is not a good thing at all. So maybe halfway back to Bloomington, around the Ohio border, I was ready to I wanted to take a little nap, so I was trying to find a spot to pull over and nap. And I usually go to hotel parking lots because, like, you know, they're crowded enough. They usually have a lot of greenery, so I can park by a bush, get some nice shade, and nobody's going to be, like, looking in my window. Versus, like, it's hard to take a nap at a gas station, you know? So I usually do hotel parking lots. But I kept driving past. I would take an exit, look for a hotel, and, like, they would be, like, these Motel 6 or, like, Super 8 kind of motels. And I was just like, I can't do that, because it's, like, they're all in rows, and you'd be parking in front of somebody's door, so it would be strange. I'm looking for, like, you know, a normal, like, economy apartment that's not, like, a motel. So I had to take, like, 3 exits to find one that was nice. And then I finally found one, and I pulled in, and they have all these signs about, like, towing and cameras, which they usually don't have. They usually don't tow people. Not that I actually would have gotten towed for sleeping there for 40 minutes, but yeah. But there was a vacant lot next to it where it was like, looks like they had an old bank there. And it was all closed down. So there was nothing there. There was no surveillance cameras, and there was no, like, signs saying no trespassing or violators will be towed or anything like that. So I was like, yeah, I'll just take a nap here. There was a nice little spot with the shade, with the bushes where people wouldn't see me. And I was like, okay, nice. I found my spot, go take a nap. I closed my eyes for about 10 minutes, and then I looked around, and there's a all black, like, new Cadillac Escalade, like, that they drive important government figures around in, parked, like, a couple spots down, and they're just, like, sitting there, like, looking at me. And I was like, okay, if you don't want me here, you could just, like, knock on my window or something. I don't know. It's just very weird. I've never had that happen. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll leave. But the 10 minutes of shut-eye was enough to get me through to get back home. And then I got back here, took a nap for about an hour, and then woke up, and it was Halloween party time. The town's going crazy for Halloween. All sorts of concerts, house shows going on. So we walked over to a house show. Funny enough, it was a house that we almost lived in, I guess. Nathaniel, Alex, and Chase had toured it, and they almost signed a lease on it. It's a pretty cool house, actually. But they're doing their last house show, and so we showed up for that. It was pretty wild. There was some mosh pit action going on. We moshed to a live rendition of What's New Scooby-Doo theme, and it went unreasonably hard. It was crazy, because you can tell, like, everybody there, like, they're all college kids. Like, we all grew up with this, and so we're all just like, what's new Scooby-Doo? And we're, like, ramming into each other, and, like, people are falling over in the pit. And it was like a room the size of, like, a 2-car garage, and there was probably like 150 people in there, and it was crazy. And there's a ceiling fan in the middle of the room, and it's spinning, which it's nice. Like, house shows in the fall are really nice, because it, like, in the summer they get so sweaty. But this one was nice because there was 2 doors to the outside. It was nice and cold out, and there was a big old ceiling fan in the middle. But it had one of those pull cords for the lamps, and so in the middle of the mosh pit, like, when we would get pushed over to the center of the pit to be underneath the ceiling fan, we would pull the cord sometimes, just off and on, and it would, like, kind of strobe the whole thing. It was funny. So yeah, it was a good night. I didn't get any footage or pictures of it, but I kind of wish I had a footage of the What's New Scooby-Doo mosh pit. But it was something, having, like, 100 people just screaming, "Don't look back, you might find another clue." And they're like, bow, 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 bow. And we're all just, like, headbutting and smashing into each other. It was crazy. There was a dude dressed up as Pinhead from Hellraiser, and he had actual, like, push pins coming out of his head. I was glad he didn't get, like, involved in the mosh pit, because somebody would have gotten hurt there. It's funny. I didn't have a costume, because I was in Cleveland the whole week, and then just got back, took a nap, woke up, and then immediately was thrust into all this. So, no costume, but it was cool. I think if I go out tonight, because at this point, like, I don't want to spend like $50 putting an outfit together. So if I go out tonight, I'm just gonna like wear normal clothes, but something like slightly eccentric, so it might seem like I'm dressed up as something. And if people ask, we came up with a funny idea last night where when people ask what I'm dressed up as, because I'm just wearing normal clothes, I just tell them, have you ever seen Breakfast with Bev? Like, no. Oh, I'm Bev from Breakfast with Bev. It's like a niche series. You wouldn't know of it. So if I go out tonight, that's the plan, I think. And then as we're walking back from that show, we left to go find some water bottles and find another beer to drink. So we were walking around town. We were going to come back. And as we're leaving, we're walking down the street, maybe a block and a half away from this show. There's another show. It's all closed up, like they're like they're playing in the garage. So this is one of those houses where the house is above and then the garage is below, opening to the street. And they have the garage closed. This other show we're at, everybody's out on the lawn, but this one's all closed up. And so we can just hear the music inside. And Nathaniel recognizes the music from outside. He's like, oh shoot, this band is playing. Jacob's gonna be there. So like just by the music he knew, like, oh, my buddy's gonna be there. And then we walk away to get water and we come back, and on our way back everybody's outside between sets, and sure enough, Jacob's there. We're like, yo, we knew you'd be here. It's cool. All right, Mr. Toyota, burning a little rubber. But yeah, you never know what's gonna happen when you walk around this town. There's always something going down. But yeah, that was last night. Tonight will probably be similar shenanigans. We'll see. And then the apartment. So what was that? Was that also Thursday? Oh yeah, that was also Thursday. So Thursday was crazy because, yeah, we filmed like 4 videos, and then I went to apartment tour, and then I fixed the spark plugs, and then I drove back to intercept my parents at Dayton. So yeah, 4 very, very major things happened that day. Oh, that's why I was so exhausted. But yeah, so the apartment tour was Thursday as well. And that could be a whole Breakfast with Bev on its own. But I'll just tell it today, and this one's going to be like 15-20 minutes. Just kidding. I am going to save that story for tomorrow because this it's already like 13 minutes, and the autofocus being in and out is annoying. I think what happened is the autofocus isn't actually usually that bad, but it's trying to do face tracking usually, but then if I tap the screen to a different location, then autofocus is there. And so I think I had accidentally tapped the screen when I was setting up, and I tapped it like over in the road. So as cars come by, it's going in and out to try to like focus on the cars or something. I don't know. But anyway, that's annoying. So I'll just do the 10-minute apartment story tomorrow, in addition to whatever stories come out of tonight's shenanigans. Also, I forgot to mention during the Breakfast with Bev, but I'm adding it now. It's the 29th, so it's 1 month of Breakfast with Bevs today. So that's pretty cool. I've been saying that I'll go through the end of October, but we'll see what happens on November 1st. Maybe I just won't have the heart to stop. But, yeah, I'm going to run the ending that I filmed. Crazy couple days. It's been a crazy week. And it's going to be a crazy weekend, all the weekend. But, yeah, I'm just glad to be home. Glad to be chilling out a little bit. And that's Breakfast with Bev, I guess. I will see you tomorrow, I guess. This bee is going to take a little munch of some of my seasonings. Oh yeah, the seasoning experiment is pretty good. So I put salt, pepper, paprika. That's my usual. Today I put a little bit of herbs on it. I put tarragon. It's a slightly, I wouldn't say minty, but like, you know, it's very different from like an Italian blend. But anyway, and I also put a bit of onion powder, which don't know if that's like a normal thing to put on eggs, because people put onions in omelets, like little chopped up onions. So it makes sense, but yeah, the onion powder is actually really good. I think tomorrow I'm gonna try just salt, pepper, onion powder, see what that's like. Go a little stronger with it, because I went light today just to experiment, but yeah, it's really good. All right, that's all for today. I will see you tomorrow.